Hi, it's Deborah, and today I'm going to share with you a little longer video. I've got your back. It's totally, as you can guess, about back exercises. Because of our posture all day, most days, we're like this. So we're tight across the fronts of our shoulders, tight across the fronts of our chest, not necessarily strong, but then passively weak back here because of that posture. So what I'm going to do is show you how to draw those muscles back together, because the ones between your shoulder blades particularly are not attached to any bones. So you really have to wake up those muscles. And we want those to work first before we do major muscle things, because otherwise they'll never get strong, because we'll always rely on the great big muscles, and then we'll still have those aches and pains that happen up here in the upper traps, in the neck, and that possibly give you a headache. So we're going to dive in right now with small muscle group exercises. So we're going to start down on your belly on a mat. So what I'm going to do is move my hands down, and I'm going to put my head down. So what I want you to really focus on is how much I'm arching my back. So if you can't see for just a second, follow along with the cues. So you're going to turn your palms down, pinkies in, your thumbs are out, head is down, reach your hands toward your feet. So you're pulling your hips toward your shoulder blades toward your hips. Put your head down and then pull back and up. Just raise your head up enough. You can either tuck your toes under or keep them down, shoelaces on the floor. And I want you to lift up just enough so you feel like you're arching. And then you're going to raise the arms up and down, squeezing your shoulder blades in against you. Lift and up. And we're going to do 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go through about 15 of each of these exercises. 7, 8, 9, 10. Just imagine your shoulder blade pulling in toward your spine. 14 and 15. Relax and just put your arms so they're flexed a little bit below your shoulder. So if somebody were looking at you from the ceiling or the sky, it looks like a W. You're going to put your head down. And what I want you to do is to raise up and just hover your arms over the floor. You're going to reach them up, and then I want you to pull down. And as you go up with the arm, the shoulders stay still and pull back, but stay tall. Now, while I'm doing this, my tailbone is tucked under so that I'm not straining the lower back. So if you're feeling really strained, you may want to put a pillow under the small of your back. Reach up, pull back, and then reach up and pull back. Now I'm going to get through all of these 15 in one lift, but if you need to, come down between and you can take a break. If your lower back fatigues first, remember to listen to it. Just take a break and pull back. We're going to do 8 more. Reach, pull the shoulder blades down together and toward the hip. Reach and pull. Got to keep breathing and pull. Reach and pull. Reach and pull. Sometimes it's these small things that actually fatigue you the most. Some of these muscles are really, really lazy because we're so used to working out in front that this is excellent for your upper back. Although it may not feel that way right now. 1 more. And then relax. Rest your head. Release your lower back. And to do that, just go ahead and sit back if you can. If your knees will allow you to, do a small child's pose. Rounding the back. If ever you're arching during an exercise, it's nice to round it and let it release. We're going to go to larger muscle groups before we come back to one small muscle group that is going to be your rear deltoid, or the shoulder muscles. And we'll come right back to this position and do a kneeling position. Now, we're going to go to heavy weights. So I'm going to do a 1 arm bent over row to start. Then I'm going to use both arms in a bent over row and just show you the difference. So as I go through this sequence of all back muscles and back muscles and back muscles, I'm going to start to fatigue because I'm literally doing them with you. So that's to be expected. So if you're doing this with me, take a break when you need one or when you lose your form. I'm gonna grab my heavy kettlebell and let you see a side view. Weights on my heels, knees are bent, weights right in the middle, shoulder blades are back together. I'm gonna shoot for 15, but if I fatigue or get sloppy first, I have to stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Second side. Now I can't choose. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now I'm going to put that one down. I'm going to do a bent over row with 2, but first I'm going to lie down again and do a bent arm pull over. So just a very slightly side view. I'm going to keep my lower back down. When I take my arms up, I'm going to bend my elbows and then move from my shoulder. Core's nice and tight. And I can leave my feet here or raise them up. Lower back stays down. Inhale, reach over your head, and exhale, come up. Now right here, your lower back wants to come up. Don't let it. Be nice and strong. So this is where you're going to inhale, take a long stretch through that side waist. Exhale and bring that up. Inhale, reach up and overhead, and exhale, breathe. Inhale and reach. Exhale, breathe up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale, breathe. Inhale, exhale, keep that lower back down. We're gonna go 5 more. And 4, and it does need to be heavy. Remember, your elbows are slightly flexed, but then they stay there. All the movement happens from your shoulder and really happens in no movement while you're stabilizing for that lower back. Inhale, exhale, pull over. Again, up and pull, and then bring it into your chest. Standing position, we go for that bent over row. So I've got a little lighter weight. And because of that, because I want to fatigue at 15, I'm going to go with power. And that means quick and then slowly down. Quick and then slowly down. So watch what I'm doing with my head. It's really tempting for me to do this. But as you watch from the side, that's not a really good angle for my neck. So it's important my head stays down. So the crown of my head to my tailbone is a long line. Now I want you to be careful of this. This is where we go when we get tired. Keep that tailbone out so it's not pretty. If someone were behind you, you really have your booty stuck out. But that means you're using it and not your back. That's good. 8 and down. 7 and down. And 6 down. It's really tempting to speed up. 5. But you're not going to get nearly as much work done or as many results if you just power through it with speed. And momentum does the work for you. 2 more. And 1 more. And relax. Nice job. Put those weights down. I'm going to bring you back to the mat. And actually need to move this out of the way. And I'm going to get smaller weights here. And I could do this with 2 arms. And I'll show you what that looks like. Or I'm going to do a single arm. So I have a little more core work going on here. I'm going to raise the arm out to the side and then lower down. Lift and then lower down. You're trying not to rotate as I go, and I want to. So I really want to kind of turn and use everything else to help. The goal is stabilize, use that core, and enjoy the work that's happening there as you raise up. Good. Now don't panic. If you can't be on this wrist, there's another way, and I'm going to show you that when I stand up. Lift and release. Lift and release. 5 more. And 4. 3. 2. And 1. Switch sides. So here goes the other side. Now you have no choice. You have to do them all. Otherwise you're going to be lopsided. And for me, right now I'm doing my non-dominant side, and sometimes I'm guilty of doing that. So catch yourself. If you're right-handed and you always start with your right arm, consider making it a rule that on Tuesdays and Thursdays when you lift, you start with your left with everything you do. And that will help you find really optimal balance, much better. Because our dominant side is always going to be our dominant side, but the more we can try to keep ourselves balanced, the less likely we are to get an injury. Lift and lower down. Raise up and lower down. Lift up and lower. Raise up and lower. Think about all the work happening in here. So you want to keep your hips and your shoulders in place. Raise up and down. It's really hard for me to count and talk. So that gets you in trouble. We're going to do 4 more and down. 3 to go. And 2. And 1. And release. Go ahead and put that down. And then let me show you, in case you need to do something else because you cannot come down and put weight on your wrists, or maybe you can't kneel. You could do something seated, and I don't have a chair out here with me. You could sit down on a ball or sit in a chair, pitch yourself forward, and then do both arms, shrugging together, and lift and lower this way. Or you could continue to do the one arm at a time. And I really like that. We call it unilateral when you do one arm at a time, because it makes your body be really smart. While you're using one side, the other side has to stabilize. And that means core work. Whenever you hear that word, stabilize, think, my core's working on that one then. And that's always a good thing. And that's your form. Whether you're seated or don't do that one standing. So a lot of people might be tempted to do this one out here, but you have to be there for such a long time that your lower back may fatigue. You're going to come in here and kind of forget about what should be happening up here. So give yourself enough to focus on, but not too much. And I got your back.